So understand, we presented one of those 7 in this trial, right? There's this whole thing called Councilman, and Rick and I were the lawyers who litigated. I mean, we could talk about this all day long. It is an old statute that is really showing its age with the internet. And with every advance in communication technology, it just gets worse. And so lots of people may walk, and the government, let's not forget, this also concerns the government, like I said in my argument. The government may start to get really clever about how it gets around the statute. Well, maybe.
I'll just add a point to not self-promote, but promote the greater good. EFF is involved in an effort in Congress with many partners from both the civil liberties community and companies such as Google. We've been working with Richard to update this area of the law for the 21st century because it is so woefully outdated. And actually, I don't think that anything we're proposing would actually clarify the law on the points raised here, but which only just is a signal of how much work there is to be done here. But just so it's called digital due process. If you want to go check out what we're doing. In the back. Yeah, just curious about Gaspar. I'd like your opinion.
Raffle starting at 6.
Exactly.
I mean, understand one thing, which is we had him dead to rights on a misdemeanor, so he was probably going to go to jail for something. Some misdemeanor people don't go to jail at all, but probably maybe for a few months. So this fight really was, it was a realistic fight. This happens with the Justice Department all the time. The FBI doesn't want to invest a lot of resources just for a misdemeanor. And so, this was all about the felony. As Kevin said when he led off, the whole keylogger, screen capture, ROP thing, that just can't be right. And so I hope we'd be able to convince a judge, not a jury, but a judge, to disagree with that other court and give us the verdict there. And the other one,
Apple iPad at 6:45.
Nice, 6:49. What was the other?
Okay.
Yeah.
The commercial advantage.
Oh, and the commercial and private advantage. We haven't talked about that at all. It's pretty broadly defined. I think the government would have won that one too.
I mean, it's defined as anything of value. I mean, I don't think I agree that the government would have necessarily won that, but nevertheless, the case law is defining it fairly broadly, and so in trying to make this an interesting case, we put a lot of effort into creating the hypothetical where he, our esteemed defendant is not getting any salary, not getting any money, he doesn't have a financial interest, and so on and so forth, which, there are people out there who do that, but it would have to be sort of a rare circumstance. One fact that might have complicated it further, which we discussed but ultimately didn't put in, was if the open source project was receiving donations as a result of this. That would be perhaps weigh a little bit more towards commercial advantage. So we tried to make it an interesting question, but I think in a typical scenario which was not so sort of carefully crafted to be interesting, it would be more likely that a commercial advantage would be found.
Cool, you call?
I think we're done.
Okay with that? 6 o'clock. Want to thank everybody for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank
very
you.
much.